A long time ago, I had a client come in and say, "Troy, I don't know why anyone would ever buy an annuity. The insurance company keeps your money when you die, they're super high in annual fees, and they don't earn any interest. They never grow. I don't understand it." That's when I realized how misunderstood annuities actually are. In today's video, we're going to discuss one specific annuity, the fixed indexed annuity, and discuss its features, its limitations, and also its functional use inside of a retirement plan. A lot of the confusion seems to stem from people not being clear when they're discussing annuities and various features and limitations as to which type of annuity they're actually discussing. So the client story from the beginning, when he said annuities are high in fees. Well, variable annuities typically are high in annual fees, but with fixed annuities, there are no annual fees. The insurance company keeps your death benefit when you pass away. Well, immediate annuities, whenever you select a single life option, meaning you're choosing an income for life and when you die the money's gone, is something that you choose, that is a feature of the immediate annuity. But when you have different types of annuities out there and they all kind of get lumped in together as to one word annuity, and over time, this narrative has been created that annuities have this feature, or this feature, and it may be true in regards to some of the annuities, but typically untrue in regards to every single type of annuity that's out there. So today's video, we're going to clear that up. We're going to help you understand specifically about the fixed indexed annuities and its features, limitations, and I think more importantly, its functional use inside of a retirement plan. Let's first start with the word. Fixed indexed annuity. So fixed means your principal is 100% protected from market losses. It's fixed, it cannot go down if the stock market loses. Index means that your gains, your potential gains, are linked to an external index like the S&P 500. So your money's not actually placed in the stock market, but depending on how the stock market performs, that determines how much interest you earn. But if the stock market goes down, you don't lose any principal or interest. Look at variable. So variable annuity. Variable just simply means that your money is variable. It can go up, it can go down. It is directly placed into the stock market. It has market risks. Fixed, it's 100% secure from market losses, but instead of your interest gains being tied to an external index like the S&P 500, fixed annuities just simply pay you an interest rate. So 3% for 3 years, 5% for 5 years. And the word annuity on the end of all of these just simply means that it is a contract issued from a life insurance company that has the choice to turn that lump sum into a pension or into a guaranteed lifetime income. You do not have to exercise that feature, but it is there if you choose to activate it. A lot of times you may want to do that a little bit later in life. If you're running out of money or you're concerned about longevity, you could turn your contract into a stream of guaranteed lifetime income. That's what the word annuity actually means. Immediate annuity just simply means you make a deposit with the life insurance company and then it immediately starts providing you income, typically in 30 days. Let's start with some of the features of the fixed indexed annuity. So they're designed to provide protected growth in income, protected from stock market losses. So secure growth and secure income. They help create some certainty in a retirement plan. They have something known as an annual reset. We're going to discuss these as the video goes on. Your values are locked in on your annual reset period. So typically it's a 12-month contract year. So if your contract is issued today, 12 months from now, you have an annual reset and your values get locked in. The earnings, instead of being a guaranteed interest rate like 4.5% per year for 5 years, with the fixed annuity, the fixed indexed annuity means your earnings are tied to an external index like the S&P 500, and there are crediting methods which we'll discuss again in just a moment. They have no market risk. So again, these are attractive to the person in retirement that is more concerned about protecting their principal than taking aggressive risks. Designed to average around 4 to 7% per year. The death benefit equals the full account value, or what's known as the full accumulation value. So all principal plus interest earned minus any withdrawals is your death benefit. Your potential growth with a fixed indexed annuity is typically determined by two factors. One is the participation rate, and the second is a cap. Now, there are various types of FIAs on the marketplace and various ways to earn interest, but these are the most common. So for example, your participation rate means how much you participate in the external index like the S&P 500. Typically with a cap, you'll see 100% participation, meaning you participate in the external index up to a cap. A cap is a limit. So let's say it's 10%. So if the S&P 500 goes up 20%, you only make 10 up to the cap. But then your values get locked in and your 100,000 goes to 110, it will never be worth less than 110. If the S&P 500 goes down the next year, the market goes down, your value stays right here because they're locked in. So you could have a 100% participation rate with maybe a 7% or 9% or 11% cap, or you could have no cap whatsoever, but a smaller participation rate. So maybe you have a 50% participation rate and no cap, meaning if the market does 8, you make half of that. If the market does 30, you can make 15. So every contract is different. There are certain terms and conditions, but these are the basics: a participation rate and a cap. Here's a visual illustration of what that might look like. So the black line represents the S&P 500, and the blue line represents your fixed indexed annuity with 100% participation and let's say a 10% cap. These represent your contract years. So you make your deposit, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, etc. The market goes up in the first year. You don't make all of the market gain. You make it up to either a cap, or if you have an uncapped strategy, then up to the participation rate. So here we'll say the market goes up, let's say 25, but we have a 10% cap. So we make up to 10%. But that gain is locked in. So now that's your new value. Market goes up year 2, between years 1 and 2. Market goes up, your contract goes up to the cap. If the market goes up, let's say 15 here, you make up to the cap of 10. Now the market goes down in year 3, between years 2 and 3, but you go sideways. You don't lose any money. These are what are called the annual resets. Now, one of the benefits of the annual reset is you start to track the stock market from wherever it is on your contract anniversary. So it's like a new horse race every 12 months. Wherever the stock market is on your contract anniversary, that's your starting point. So even though your values are still up here, because you didn't lose when the market went down, you start tracking the market between years 3 and 4 from this point to wherever it is at the end of year 4. So if the stock market goes from here to here, your contract goes from here to here. Between years 4 and 5, the market goes up, so does your contract. And then here we show the market going down. You don't lose any principal, you don't learn any interest, because each year on your contract anniversary, you have that reset feature and your values are locked in. Those are the primary features of the fixed indexed annuity. Now I want to discuss some of the limitations that you should consider before adding something like this to your retirement portfolio. So first and foremost, they are not short-term tools. They are designed for the long term and they are designed for retirement. So fixed indexed annuities and all annuities are similar to retirement accounts in the sense that if you make a withdrawal prior to age 59 and a half, you can be subject to a 10% early withdrawal penalty. So they are for retirement. They are not typically for younger people. They are long-term. They are not short-term. This is not something that if you need money in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, all of your money, that you would want to look at a fixed indexed annuity, because they are designed for the long term. Now, in retirement, once you're over the age of 59 and a half, if you need income, they have a 10% liquidity provision per year. This means that if you, let's say you put in $100,000 and you need to make a withdrawal of $4,000 or $6,000, up to $10,000, you can do so. Each year you can withdraw typically up to 10% of your account value. So this is part of the reason why they're long-term, is because there's limited annual liquidity. Fixed indexed annuities come with an exit fee schedule for early surrender. This is another reason why they're long-term retirement contracts. So your contract may be 5 years, 7 years, 9 years, or 10 years in length. They vary and typically can be customized to your particular situation, or at least the vehicles available in the marketplace can be matched up to your particular needs in retirement. Now, insurance companies are long-term investors. They don't invest over the short term. They have to have stability and certainty on their balance sheet. They can't have people putting all the money in, taking it out. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the stability and be able to legally use the word guarantee. Because of this, they incentivize you to have a longer surrender charge schedule with more potential for growth or more income for your retirement. So for those of you who don't need more than 10% per year, a longer exit fee schedule could benefit you in the sense that you have more potential for growth or more income for your retirement. But it's important to be aware that these exit fees can be pretty hefty in the beginning years. So 0 is at issue when the contract is issued. If you decide, you have a free look period, typically 30 days, to make sure you're comfortable with your contract and you made a good decision. But after that free look period, if you say, you know what, change my mind, you can take all your money back if you want, but you're going to suffer a 9% loss. Year 2, 8%, 7%, 6%. It's important to point out 2 things. One, you have the 10% annual liquidity, so you can take up to 10% of your account value per year. If you think there's any chance that you're going to need more than 10% of that account value per year, fixed indexed annuities are not a good choice for your retirement. Just as if you have a short-term time horizon, fixed indexed annuities will not be a good choice for your retirement. But if the 10% liquidity provision is reasonable enough for you and your retirement, and you're okay with a longer exit fee schedule to have more potential for growth and income, this is when it could be a viable tool for your retirement plan. So 10% liquidity, no penalties on that withdrawal. You go above 10%, let's say you need 20% for some reason, and you're in year 4. Well, you can take 10% out, no charge. The additional 10% above your free withdrawal amount will be subject to the exit fee at that time. Second thing, if at any time you pass away during the surrender charge schedule, these exit fees are not applied. Upon death, your full account value, including all principal and interest, is paid out as a death benefit to whomever you name as a designated beneficiary. As a retirement planner, one of the things that we appreciate most about the fixed indexed annuity is the high level of confidence that we gain when putting a plan together because of the certainty this tool brings to the table. So it is designed to provide secure growth between 4 to 7%. Protected income. I know if we make a deposit, we can withdraw up to 10% of that account value. So if we need to withdraw 6 or 7 or 8% as part of an income plan, I know it's going to be there for us and we can count on that asset to generate the income through withdrawals because it won't go down if the market goes down. Ultimately, it provides a high level of confidence and flexibility, which again, I'm going to show you in just a minute. But one more factor here is if we want to turn the fixed indexed annuity into a guaranteed lifetime stream, we also have that flexibility to do so later in life. Now, in subsequent videos in this annuity series, we're going to talk about lifetime income benefit riders. These are addendums that you can attach to the contract, typically for an annual fee, but they'll provide guaranteed fixed rates of 6, 7, 8, 9, even 10% per year to a pension account, so it grows at a guaranteed rate. And then once you want to start taking income, you can make a withdrawal, typically 5, 5.5, 6% of that much higher account balance. So you have some addendums that we can add to the contract to target specific purposes, either long-term care planning, lifetime income planning, even death benefit enhancement. So there's a lot of features out there that can be customized to your particular situation. Okay, let's look at a functional use case here and talk about what I mean when I say some flexibility and confidence regarding where our income is going to come from and also what it looks like from a growth standpoint. So here's just a basic income plan. So we have the first 3 years of retirement, just simply showing $60,000 combined husband-wife Social Security. And I know if we put $400,000 into the fixed indexed annuity, I can take up to 10%, but I'm just simply showing $25,000 a year coming out for the first 3 years. So let's call it a little bit more than 6%. So I know for the first 3 years of this retirement plan, regardless of how the stock market performs, if it goes up, if it goes down, we're going to have this Social Security and we're going to have this $25,000 withdrawal. I can count on that because it is a withdrawal. It's fully guaranteed to be able to come out because it's less than 10% of the account value, and there are no penalties associated with it. So your portfolio, it may go up, it may go down. I have no idea what's going to happen over the next few years, but I can be certain that I can take Social Security and this income, and if this is my spending goal, $85,000, excellent. I know where that income's coming from for the first 3 years. Now, the flexibility component. Let's say the portfolio does really, really well. I can preserve my secure asset, not make those withdrawals from there, and I have the flexibility to come over to this account and start to pull out dividends or interest or just gains, just kind of secure those gains that have been made if this increases in value. If this happens to go down in value the first few years of retirement, well, I know that I have my secure asset over here that I can count on to provide me income, which will give this account time to rebound. Overall, fixed indexed annuities help to mitigate several risks in retirement, which allow us as retirement planners to bring more certainty to your retirement plan. First and foremost, it's sequence of returns risk. This is the combination of stock market losses and withdrawals from your portfolio. It's one of the greatest dangers to people entering retirement, and fixed index annuities help to mitigate that. One way is through the mechanism I just showed you of having more certainty about where we're getting our income from in the beginning years. Helps to mitigate market risk, helps to mitigate longevity risk, income risk, interest rate risk, and just overall uncertainty. So fixed index annuities are not appropriate for everyone, but for those that are more conservative on the investment spectrum, or they simply want more certainty, predictability, and reliability when it comes to where they place their money for a portion of their assets in retirement, a fixed index annuity could be a valuable tool to add to your overall asset allocation. A couple of things to point out. Because fixed indexed annuities are tied to an external index like the S&P 500, some people mistakenly believe that they are a replacement for stocks. It's important to point out that fixed indexed annuities are not a replacement for stocks. They're a more secure retirement planning tool that has the potential for very reasonable growth and protection from market losses, but they're not designed to be a replacement for stocks. They can be considered as an alternative to fixed income or an alternative to bonds. There's no exact right allocation for every single person when it comes to fixed indexed annuities, but a customized plan in retirement that looks at your risk level, that looks at your income needs, when you're taking Social Security, your tax picture, all of these items blended together can help the retirement planner understand more clearly how the fixed index annuity could be an appropriate tool for you in your retirement.